YouTube, what is up? Welcome to the Wasted MBA YouTube channel. We are kicking this channel off with our first video, which is going to be including how to start a budget. This page will be all around personal finance and other ways that we can take control of our own money. So the first thing we're going to do is cover the basics of how do I formulate a budget if I have never done that before. In this case, we are going to take our basic income with our basic expenses, subtract our expenses from our income, and see how that works. So let's get started. Okay, so what we have here is a basic budgeting form. This form I found on Google Sheets. So I think anybody is basically with a Gmail account is going to have access to this exact document. If this one doesn't make a lot of sense to you or you don't like it, you don't have to use it. You can make your own. The biggest thing on forming a budget is just making sure your information is as accurate as you can make it. Now, with this one, all my calculations will be auto done for me. All I have to do is type in the data. So in this case here, I have my income and I have my expense categories. So we're going to start with income. Now, the thing to note on income is that we are building this budget for those who have what we call regular income. So these people with regular income are going to have a paycheck on a very regular basis. And that number will have very little difference in it from check to check. Okay. So if you're a regular employee and you get a paycheck on the 1st and the 15th, every other Friday, once a month, however your normal or even weekly, that is going to make it the easiest to form a budget. If you have income where it changes regularly, so you work on tips and you don't have a lot of scheduling and you don't have, maybe you're a contract worker, we would use a little bit of a different method. So those videos will be coming down the pipeline in a little bit after this video will be posted, but the major concepts of this video will still apply. So when we start with our income, we have two pay periods here. These numbers are completely made up. I just randomly typed these numbers in just to show you the mechanics of how this basic budgeting works. Okay, so income. In this example, I have the person being paid on the 1st and the 15th. The amounts are $1,687.36 per pay period. So they get paid twice a month in this amount. Okay. Expenses. Now, because we're bucketing all of our expenses into major categories, because we just want to get a big number, the total number of our spend. We're not trying to qualify anything. We're not going to try to micro categorize anything that we spend. We just want to get an idea of how much money is coming in and how much money is going out in total. So the major categories that I've chosen to use on this are cash and check spending, app spending. So this would be Venmo, Cash App, any other type of cash application where you're sending money to friends or you're paying for things, stuff like that. This is become a major part of the way people behave with money. So it needs to be taken into consideration. And I just bunch them all together. I don't use a lot of spending on this, so I don't know what all of them are, but I know Venmo, I know Cash App, I know PayPal. Those are pretty much the three that I know. If there are other ones, include them in this category. Credit card spending. If you have more than one credit card, take your total for all of them and add them together and put them in this line. So again, we're not having credit card 1, 2, and 3. If it makes it easier for you, that's fine. Try to just bunch them up in total credit card spending. And then we have debit card spending. So with debit card spending, you want to look at your bank account, subtract anything that is a credit card payment and anything that is a cash withdrawal or a check. And then also your app spending if it's coming directly from a bank account. Okay, so you're going to have to maybe do a little bit of digging to see how much you're actually paying on your debit card. When you do your month-end statement or you do a statement from whatever you select usually what it will do is it will automatically categorize things together. So that number should be fairly easy to find, and you shouldn't have to do a lot of, hey, I got this one here, and I have this one here, and I have this one here. Okay, so use the technology from your banking system to make this super easy for you. Now, when we have these numbers in here, again, I just randomly type these numbers in. Okay, on this sheet here, what it does is it automatically brings those numbers into an income expense column and an or income column and an expense column. Okay, so again, I don't have the expenses broken down. I just categorize them all as other because we're not qualifying the expenses yet. But the total expenses came to $3,547 for the numbers that I plugged in. The income off of the 2 pay periods for the month came to $3,375. You may be saying, oh, wow, that was a smaller number. You're right. It is a smaller number based off of those things. So if these were real numbers, at the end of the month, you would have spent $172 than you brought in. Now, is that money debt financed, meaning you put it on a credit card because you spent more money than you had? Or would this come from like a savings account or other cash-based thing where you had money at the beginning of the month and you spent more and you had to dig into that account? Again, this part we don't know yet because we're not qualifying where the money is coming from. All we are qualifying currently is how much do I bring in and how much do I send out? This just gives us a general idea for the past month. How did we do on keeping more money than we gave away? Now, as we get further into budgeting, we will gain further knowledge and more granular knowledge, meaning more detailed knowledge of what am I spending my money on and where is it going? And also, do I need to be spending that money? Now, one thing you'll note is if these numbers change, so for example, let's say this spending here for debit card spending was actually 689, so a few $100s less, the difference recognized in the budget here changes. Now we have $138 left over. So that's one thing that's nice about these automated tools that you can find for free is they will automatically calculate everything for you as long as you're entering the correct numbers. Now, on this one specifically, you have a starting balance, you have an ending balance. This actually takes into consideration, hey, do I have money in my banking account to begin with, right? So let's say I had $1,500 in there. What this is going to say, it's going to have here, and it's going to give you an ending balance of what you should have here. Do we need this? No, we don't for the first one, so that's why I zeroed it out. Okay. Again, this point here is what do I make? What do I spend? That's the goal here. You're not to take any more thought into it than that at this phase. So right here, again, income, expenses. It's a simple math problem. This is a positive number. This is a negative number. So I take my income, subtract my expenses. I either get a positive number or a negative number at the end of the month. A positive number means that I did not spend more than I made. If it's a negative number, it means I spent more than I made. So that is the first phase of forming a budget. I hope you have found this educational resource valuable for you and your family. It is the first step into gaining the control that you want and have always craved with your personal finances. Please do not be intimidated by this process. It is very liberating, it is very empowering, and it can give you a lot of peace of mind. Gaining understanding of numbers can be very, very stressful. It can be very, very difficult at times. It can feel that way, but it doesn't have to be that way. The simpler you make things, the easier it is to ingest them, and the easier it is to follow on a regular basis. Follow me for more. We'll get further detailed into how to budget and take further control of your personal finances.